If you've ever picked up a controller and played a game, there's a very good chance that you've said this phrase. If you're even a remotely casual gamer, I can almost guarantee that you said it. And if you're anything beyond casual, I bet my entire bank account that you said this more times than you can count. It's a phrase that has been around since the beginning of video games, when people had to take turns playing Tetris or Pac-Man on an arcade machine. It's a phrase that can mark the end of your gaming session, or the start of a very, very long night. And it's only 3 simple words long.
One more game! One more game! One more game! One more game!
Starting off as one more quarter back in the 80s, evolving to one more game nowadays, it generally means the same thing. You're hooked. You're probably thinking about a recent time where you said this now, and you're wondering just how many more games you actually played until you logged off for the night. It could have just been one more game, but it could have also been 19 or 20. You have such a fun time playing with your friends that you want to play just a little bit longer. Then someone else starts saying one more game, and then it's just a never-ending cycle that only seems to break when someone literally can't keep their eyes open. And like I said, it's not just the hardcore players. Brand new or casual gamers get pulled into the loop too. I recently got my wife into Mario Kart World, and she's not experienced in games in the slightest. When we play, she's the one saying one more race, 2, 3, even 4 times a night. So that got me thinking, why is this phrase so universal, and why do we all fall into the same trap? I've got a few ideas, and the first one, which I've already hinted at a little bit, is simple. You're just having too much fun. You're in the zone, you're laughing, and you're winning. Fun is hard to walk away from, especially when you're in control when it ends. And when the barrier to keep playing is so low with the click of a start or ready button, you're not thinking about the time or the consequences, you're thinking about the next dose of excitement. You want to carry that momentum and bring it into each successive game, which kind of brings me into my next point. Games are designed to give you a sense of progression or challenge, and when you're on a winning streak, you don't want to lose that momentum. It's like a gambler on a hot streak at the slots. Stopping feels like cutting your chances short. One more, you tell yourself, just to see if the streak continues. But other times, this phrase isn't about excitement. It actually has a lot of diversity behind it. Sometimes this phrase actually changes from one more game to one more try. This one usually hits solo players the hardest, but squads can also fall into this trap. If you're stuck on a part in a game, maybe it's something like a boss battle in Elden Ring, you keep wanting to go back and try again. You can slowly learn their movements, how they attack, when to dodge, all of the technical stuff in order for you to finally defeat them. You get through their first phase after a bit, then comes their second phase, then their third phase. It's a lot to get through, but you have to do it all at once. If you just give up and go back later, it might feel like you'll have to start from scratch again, relearning everything about that boss. You need to get through this boss this session. Once you finally land that finishing blow and flood your brain with dopamine, it instantly evaporates when you hear your morning alarm go off 10 seconds later to get ready for work. That's how easily one more try turns into hundreds more. Elden Ring is a bit of an extreme case here, but it captures the mindset perfectly. You need to overcome a challenge, so you'll keep trying and trying until you get past it. But even if you do get past it in a reasonable enough time, you now have a fancy, new, unexplored area to wander around and progress through. A bit of time goes by, and suddenly, you're at the next boss battle. But it's not just boss fights. Speedrunners and roguelike fans know this pain too. One perfect jump missed, one bad RNG roll, and suddenly it's, okay, this is the run. For the 50th time. Or those of you out there who say, okay, this is the real first try, you're in this category too. You know who you are. This kind of leads into the next point about closure. Sometimes you're not having a great time and you're on a losing streak, but you can't end on a loss. You get everyone to agree that you play until you win so you can leave on a high note. Sometimes that doesn't go so well, and you rack up the biggest losing streak that anyone's ever seen. Everyone either gets too frustrated and calls it a night, or they find it hilarious at how cursed this session is, and it has to keep going. You finally get that one win, but now there's also that mental trap of, that last match was too good to end on. You finally have a good game, you think your luck is turning around, but then you play the good old play until you lose card. If this is sounding familiar to you at all, that's because this is just another variant of the one more game phrase that we've been talking about. But at this point, if you're deep enough into the game, the cycle repeats until someone actually calls it quits. Overall, I think this is the most probable situation to end sooner rather than later for the one more game rule, but it can obviously still last a really long time. And finally, we have the social factor. Gaming is social more now than ever. You're talking with friends, joking around, making memories. Saying one more game isn't just about the game, it's about not wanting that connection to end. It's like hanging out at a friend's house and someone says, I should head out, but no one moves for the next 30 minutes. One more game is just a digital version of that, but usually a bit more extreme. Even if the matches are rough, the company is good, and you don't want to be the first one to leave. And on the flip side, if you're the first one to leave, your friends might play without you, win some games, and now they have a higher rank than you. You don't need that burden on you with your friends making fun of you for being a lower rank. You fight those droopy eyes, make yourself a cup of coffee, and stay up as long as necessary to maintain your social status within your game, because everyone you encounter cares deeply about it and you don't want to be made fun of. So, whether it's the fun, the flow, the need for redemption, or the people you're playing with, the phrase "one more game," or any of its variants, has seemingly always been a core part of gaming culture. It's a simple sentence that holds tons of meaning, and honestly, it might just be the most honest lie gamers tell themselves. So what's your one more game story? How many games did it really turn into? Or maybe you're doing that with YouTube videos right now. Tell me about it in the comments down below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I hope to see you for just one more video.